The following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the TFN Geek, and I'll be honest, it's been a while since I did my last video, almost 2.5 weeks, between helping my family get ready for Christmas, having to deal with work, and all of life's problems. Even on nights when I had the time to make a video, I didn't have the energy or motivation, what with the Christmas season going on, so I am back again, hopefully not too late to make this announcement. A couple of announcements I have. That was the first one of where I've been. Second announcement is that a good shout out to a very good friend of mine, UltraMegatronus. He was nice enough to send me a brand new t-shirt with my name on it. So there it is. I thank you so much, UltraMegatronus, for this fantastic gift, and so I will be wearing this shirt from now on when I do my reviews. So that's one change that's happened. And then another one is that I have so many new Transformers action figures. Not recently, but in all of the announcement videos I have. So I'm going to try and get around to reviewing as many of them as I can. Maybe not before Christmas, essentially, but before the new year starts. Alright, so to kick things off, let's get to the main focus of this video. And it is a review of one of the most recent collaborative Transformers action figures to be released, and it is the Transformers Knight Rider Agent Knight. So here it is. This is the KITT, the high-tech car from the 1980s TV show Knight Rider, reimagined as a Transformers character. The official name for KITT's robot mode is Agent Knight, so he's the latest member of the Autobots. You can still call him KITT if you want, thanks to the First Amendment right to freedom of speech here in the United States. So just like half of the collaborative Transformers figures that have been released, he has been released in the same style box that Transformers Generation 1 action figures came packaged in back in the 1980s. And just like the Transformers franchise, the year 2024 marks the 40th anniversary of when Knight Rider started to air on television. So I have to be honest with you guys, I have never watched Knight Rider, but I know about KITT because of commercials and TV promotions that involve famous cars and vehicles from movies and television shows. I'm really excited. Even though I've never watched Knight Rider, I am a fan of KITT, and I'm really thrilled to finally have KITT as a Transformers action figure. I honestly never thought KITT was going to be one of those fictional characters who happens to be a car who would become a Transformer with his own robot mode. So, if you're exclusively a fan of Knight Rider, then the appeal of this action figure is for those who have been fans of Knight Rider since it came out on television back in 1984. If you ever wondered what it would be like if KITT were to become a robot, this Transformers action figure now gives you the chance to imagine what KITT would look like if he was a robot and was the closest he could become to actually being human. If you're strictly a Transformers fan, then the appeal of this action figure is that it's it's a Transformers action figure that's in between the size of a modern Voyager and Leader class Transformers figure, and it's based off the vehicle mode is based off of a car from a somewhat famous television show from the 1980s, the decade the Transformers franchise started. So that's the appeal for KITT, which is what I'm going to call him throughout the rest of the review. I'm not really a fan of Hasbro's official name for KITT's robot mode of Agent Knight, right, so I'm just going to be calling him KITT throughout the rest of the video. So here on the top of the box, just like in the Generation 1 original action figures, you got some step-by-steps of the transformation from vehicle mode, which KITT comes packaged in, to his robot mode of Agent Knight. Even though it's a lot more steps than that on the instruction sheet. He does come, I've seen from other reviews of people who reviewed this action figure already, he does come in a plastic clamp down bubble, so he is very tight and secure inside the box, so there's no fear of him coming loose and rattling around out inside, so that's really nice there. On this side of the box you got some product photos of the robot mode and the vehicle mode. Same thing on the other side of the box. And one selling point for this action figure is that KITT is the first Transformers action figure in 8 years, since the last time this happened was a Transformers figure released back in 2016, and it was the Titan class Transformers Titans Return Fortress Maximus figure. But KITT actually has electronic lights and sounds. He runs on 3 8.5V A76/LR44 alkaline batteries, the silver disc-shaped batteries. So it's the first time in 8 years we have a Transformers action figure that has electronic lights and sounds. That's a nice return to see there. And then, of course, you got the G1 style Transformers logo out here on the top of the box, and it says Heroic Autobot. I don't know if it said that on the G1 figures. I apologize for not knowing that before I started recording the video, but come around here to the back of the box. You've got the 40th anniversary logo for the Transformers franchise. I got KITT off of Amazon, so you've got a Amazon QR code taped here to the back of the box. You got the authentic Transformers logo, you got the Hasbro logo from the 1980s, and then you got the GM logo, licensed product. I don't know if that's the automaker for the type of car that KITT transforms into, or if it's the film company that owns the rights to Knight Rider. And then you've got the Transformers description up here on the top of the box. It is a world of constant change where things are not what they seem. It is the world of the Transformers, a world of heroic Autobots and evil Decepticons. Then it appears in several other languages. And then you've got the box art that was seen on the back of quite a few of the, not all of the Transformers action figures that were released in 1984. Or here on the Autobot side, you've got Optimus Prime along with several other G1 Transformers. You've got the red version of Sunstreaker, which in more recent years has become the character of Spinout. You've got Prowl. You've got, I believe it's one of the Omnibots. Can't remember his name. And then you've got Bumblebee. And then you've got, in vehicle modes, you've got Trailbreaker, Hound, Ironhide, and I believe Ratchet and Bluestreak. And you got just a bunch of Autobots it's transforming and flying off to fight the Decepticons. I believe that's Starscream peeking out from underneath, or it might be Ethan. Then you got Megatron there as well, along with Soundwave, and then you got Ravage up there. But the Decepticon side of the poster image for the G1 box art is covered up by this warning label, which I don't understand why they had to do it so enormously. And then just like the Generation 1 Transformers action figures, you've got a cutout bio card, or that you can cut out and save for yourself, of if you desire. And it says as for KITT, now Autobot Knight, he is an Autobot. His function is to preserve human life in a world where crime never resists. Initiate Turbo Boost. Autobot Agent Knight is the perfect partner to help protect the innocent, helpless, and powerless from lawless criminals. So yeah, pretty nice nod to what KITT did in Knight Rider to help stop human criminals. Now he's doing it to fight the Decepticons as well. And then, of course, he's got some tech specs here on the box, flipping it around so I can read it for you guys. He's on a scale of 1 to 10. He has a strength of 9, an intelligence of 10, a speed of 9, and a firepower of 8. So yeah, KITT is a force to be reckoned with. So Decepticons, beware, because the Autobots now have a powerful ally in the form of Agent Knight. So, pretty awesome and incredible bio and background information here. And yeah, I'm just really thrilled here. I think one of the reasons why I've always been a fan of KITT, even though I've never watched Knight Rider, is because black has always been my favorite color. So UltraMegatronus, thank you for giving me a black t-shirt. Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why I've always liked KITT, is because he's a almost entirely black sports car. So without further delay, let's get this guy out of the box and take a close look at what he looks like in the mode that he comes packaged in, which is his alt mode. So here is KITT, a.k.a. Knight Rider, out of his box. And yes, I bought a duplicate copy of this figure so I could have one to keep in the box. So yeah, here is KITT. And he has become a Transformers action figure. One thing that some more ardent Transformers collectors have pointed out is that, unfortunately, he is not in scale with any of the modern Transformers action figures. he comes somewhat close to being in scale with the first collaborative Transformers action figure to be released, which was Ectotron, the Ghostbusters car, the Ecto-1, and he's somewhat in scale with Ectotron slash Ecto-1, but yeah, as far as being in scale with other mainline Transformers action figures, unfortunately KITT is a little too large. He's almost the same scale as some of the alternators slash Benaltech slash Alternity Transformers action figures that were released back in the mid to late 2000s. I don't know if he's in scale with the Human Alliance action figures that came out during Transformers Revenge of the Fallen and Transformers Dark of the Moon, which were larger sized Transformers action figures that had detailed vehicle modes, and they were basically live action versions of the alternators. Basically alternators versions of the live action Transformers characters is what I was trying to say. So yeah, that's the only real major nitpick to be found with KITT, is that he's not in scale with any of the mainline Transformers action figures. Some of the other collaborative figures have tried to do that, but in this case, for me personally, I think it's a question of, does scale pertain, or does it really matter? For some people who are a little OCD about seeing cars that are supposed to be quote-unquote the same size being not the same size compared to each other, they might find it a little off-putting seeing how much larger KITT is compared to, say, deluxe class-sized Transformers action figures. And the reason why I keep saying KITT is in between the size of a Leader and Voyager class Transformers action figure is because he was sold at a Leader class price point, but compared to other mainline Transformers action figures, he's closer in size to a Voyager class-sized Transformers figure. I'm almost tempted to say that KITT, he's right in between the size of a Voyager and Leader class Transformers figure. There used to be a size class of Transformers action figures that were in between Leaders and Voyagers. They were known as Ultra class sized, so if that size class of Transformers action figures still existed, then I would say KITT is a pretty good idea of what a modern day Ultra class sized Transformers action figure would be. But yeah, here he is in his alt mode. Oh, really nice looking vehicle mode. It is identical to how KITT, near identical, I'll say, to how KITT looked in Knight Rider. You got an Autobot logo down here on below the front bumper, and that's the only part of the vehicle mode that's not entirely accurate, is this underside to the front bumper. If I cover that up, then that's pretty good image of what KITT looked like inside Knight Rider. The reason why you've got this extension on the front bumper is because that's the compartment for the battery pack and the electronic lights and sounds. And I'll get to that in just a moment. But yeah, here coming around to the side of the box, you got the rims of the hubcaps painted silver. You've got the headlights painted white. And no, it's not silver. It is in fact white. I apologize for my camera not picking it up when I get it close up. You got the emergency lights decked out in I believe it's bright orange. And then all the windows are done in clear light blue plastic. And then one thing that's a rarity with modern mainline Transformers action figures, but they actually painted the taillights red, so that's a nice thing to see that there. You got the brake lights on the back of the car also painted red, and then you've got the symbol for Knight Industries there on the back. And I love that it's a Knight chess piece from a chess S game, so that's a pretty nice thing there. Like I said, I've never watched Knight Rider, so I understand enough of the parts of Knight Rider to know that Hasbro, like all the other collaborative Transformers figures that have come out, they successfully, in my opinion, did a nice reality for anyone who's ever dreamed of what it would be like to see KITT as a Transformer. I think the designers really managed to do that successfully. And this is actually a first step in the transformation from vehicle mode to robot mode, but you can actually open up KITT's doors like an actual working car. Unfortunately, there's no car seats or a steering wheel sculpted inside. It's just robot mode parts, but yeah, it's really nice that he has actual working doors. So if you're strictly a fan of Knight Rider and you don't like the idea of KITT transforming into a robot, this is still a pretty decent sized KITT vehicle that you can have. It rolls fairly well, at least rolling it on my hand like that. Let me see if I can bring in the box as a solid surface. So yeah, it rolls pretty well along most solid surfaces. So That's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. He does come with 3 accessory pieces. One of them is a wrist communicator, which is identical to the one that David Hasselhoff's character used in Knight Rider, so now KITT himself has one. And then he's got the 2 laser guns that he comes packaged with. They store here on the back, and one of them, it sticks out slightly farther than the other one, so you, depending on which position you have them stored here on the back, they can be stored this way, or they can be stored facing the opposite direction, and it just makes it look like KITT has an exhaust pipe coming out of him, although I can't remember if he ran on gasoline fuel or not. It was the 80s, so electric-powered cars weren't really popular back in the 1980s, not compared to today, but overall, still, I'm really impressed with how he turned out. Now, I mentioned that he has electronic lights and sounds, and that's one of the features about KITT that's famous, is that that little slot right there in the front middle section of the hood, it would light up whenever KITT would talk. And now, thanks to the designers designing a lights and sounds compartment, you can now have KITT look like he'd talk like he did in the TV show. And I thought I heard that KITT's original, the guy who provided KITT's voice 40 years ago for Knight Rider, lent his voice once again for the catchphrases that this action figure lets out. So that's pretty nice there, that KITT sounds just like he did in the actual Knight Rider TV show. I believe he has 7 catchphrases. 6 of them you activate by pushing activating the electronic lights and sounds, which you do by pressing this little button right here on the hood of his vehicle mode. Oh, one last thing I'll say before we continue with the lights and sounds. Just like the actual model of sports car that KITT was built from, he does have the pop-up headlights here on the front. And so, I called these the headlights earlier, but I guess those are actually the fog lights. Right, but yeah, he has the pop-up headlights right here, which was, pop-up headlights were a popular feature amongst sports cars back in the 1980s. So yeah, he can do that as well. And for electronic lights and sounds, 6 of them you activate by pushing the button. And the 7th one, and I believe it says, as KITT out, or over and out. That one voices off by itself 1 minute after you've pressed any of the other 6 voice recordings that KITT lets out. And then another thing you can do is you can press and hold the button for, I believe, 3. If you press and hold it for 3 seconds or longer, then the lights here on the hood will just stay on and they'll keep flashing, so it'll look like KITT is talking non-stop. So let's just do them off right now while we have him in alt mode, just see what he says. So that was number 1. Number 2. Number 3.
Are you sure this is the right way? Very well.
Number 4.
Thank you, sir.
Number 5.
I am the voice of Knight Industry 2000's microprocessor, K.I.T.T for easy reference. KITT if you prefer.
Number 6. I think he might have one more.
Hold on, this could be a bit bumpy.
Okay, I think that was the last one. Let me just run through it one more time just to see. Yeah, so there's 7. Let's do them one more time.
Are you sure this is the right way? Very well. Thank you, sir. I am the voice of Knight Industry 2000's microprocessor, K.I.T.T for easy reference. KITT if you prefer. Hold on, this could be a bit bumpy.
Alright, and so those are the 7 voices that KITT lets out, or catchphrases that KITT says. He does have an 8th one, but it's only activated a minute after you've gone through all the other ones. It'll sound off automatically. I timed it. It's 1 minute after you finished activating all the other lights and sounds and catchphrases. So if you hear KITT say the 8th and final catchphrase randomly out of nowhere, that's just because it's on a 1 minute timer after you've pushed the button. So it's basically the action figure's way of announcing that announcing that it's no longer being used. The electronic lights and sounds have stopped being used by whoever's using the figure, so that's a pretty nice detail there. And let me see. It should come on any second now. I believe I've been talking for over a minute now. Who knows? Maybe it only activates if you've... Okay, there it was. Yeah, so that's the 8th and final catchphrase, KITT signing off. So that's KITT's way of announcing to you that you are no longer using electronic lights and sounds, and so the electronic lights and sounds will wait until the next time you're ready to activate them. So that's a pretty nice, nice and spooky thing there. It's almost like KITT has a mind of his own, and he knows that since you're not using him anymore, he's signing off until the next time you decide to activate his electronic lights and sounds. So yeah, the 8th and final catchphrase, KITT signing off. You don't get the choice to activate it. If you did, I'm probably sure you could do it if there was an on and off button, but there is no on and off button. So if you were to leave KITT next to something that would be constantly be pushing this button, then it would be keep going on and off until the batteries wear out. And like I said, one last thing that he can do is if you press and hold the button for... So unfortunately you have to activate one of the sounds first, but if you press and hold the button and for 3 seconds or more after one of the catchphrases is made, then it'll stay on and just keep on lighting up. And so I just shined it in my own eye, so I don't recommend doing it. So yeah, it is pretty bright. Alright, my camera's making it look brighter than it actually is, but yes, you can make it look like KITT is constantly talking and is constantly activated in conversation with you. The lights aren't supposed to light up underneath. It's just a gap here on my copy. It's only supposed to be there on the top. And the only way to turn it off after you've left it on is to just press it again. And so it eventually goes off on its own. And that's pretty much it. For KITT in his vehicle mode. So now let's get him transformed into his robot mode and see the selling point of this figure, where KITT has now become a transformer and now has his own robot mode. So the video's gone on longer than I wanted to, so let's hurry up and get him transformed into Agent Knight and wrap up the review. Alright, so here is KITT, a.k.a. Agent Knight, transformed into his robot mode. And he is really impressive. He is a lot more impressive than I thought he'd be. I really love his head sculpt. With the, I'm sorry, my camera used to be able to pick things up close up. I don't know why it's having trouble doing it now, but yeah, there's a close-up of the visor and the helmet. And yeah, I'm really enjoying how KITT's head sculpt. Now, I'll probably get used to it eventually, but for now, the official name of his robot mode, Agent Knight, is just one that I think is one that could have been a little better than it actually was, but that's just my own personal nitpick with his name. But yeah, KITT really is impressive as a Transformers action figure and character. The electronic lights and sounds still work in robot mode. But yeah, I'm really thrilled with how he turned out. One minor nitpick that some people have been OCD about is the bright blue used here on his pelvis and his upper legs. The reason why they did that was so he can match up the blue jean pants that David Hasselhoff's character wore on Knight Rider. So the idea is that KITT is wearing almost the same uniform that his human partner Michael wore. So the same agents of Knight Industries have almost the same uniform. So that's a pretty nice nod to Knight Rider there. He has, like I said, he comes with 3 accessory pieces. You got 2 laser guns. You got the larger laser gun, and then the smaller laser gun. And then right here on his wrist, you got the communicator from Knight Rider. The instructions and the photos on his box show you to put it on his left side wrist, but you can do it on either one if you want. And if I remember correctly, people who are right-handed typically wear their wristwatches on their left wrist so they can look at their watch while they're writing something down. So depending on what arm you put something you wrap around your wrist, is normally, such as a watch or a communicator. You do it on the opposite hand of what you normally write with. So if you were to put it on his right side wrist, then that would mean my tongue works. That would make KITT left-handed. But yeah, it's all your own personal choice. So if you wanted him to have a wrist communicator on both arms and have him be ambidextrous, then you would unfortunately have to buy a duplicate copy of the figure like I did just to get that extra wristband. But yeah, I'm really thrilled with how he came out. The most difficult part of the transformation for this action figure right here is the backpack with the windshield and roof of the vehicle mode and the car doors. So some people were confused about how the hood was supposed to be positioned, but this is actually the official position here after I watched someone's review of it, because someone pointed out that there's a square peg sculpted into the windshield, and then there's a slot on the hinge that the roof is attached to, that square peg gets inserted into when you transform KITT from vehicle mode to robot mode. And what you have to do is you have to, as you push the shield down, you have to somehow get it past the doors, and there's no clearance in doing that. It's almost like you have to have the doors right here in the same position they are in vehicle mode to get the windshield around without anything bumping into something. So that is the main concern to be had with this figure. The parts that are made out of clear plastic are the most difficult ones to transform, and if those parts break, then when you transform KITT back into his vehicle mode, imagine someone having ripped the roof, windshield, and the doors off of KITT and having him be a roofless and doorless car. So yeah, that's the official configuration for the backpack right here. Here is like this. Yes, and then you can angle the doors whichever way you want. If you want to have them sitting flat like this, yes, you can. But angling them upward actually prevents the plastic from etching the surface of the windshield here on the backpack. So that's the configuration I like to have them in. So yeah, this is the official configuration for the backpack. A lot of collectors having trouble trying to figure out the official configuration for the backpack. After seeing how difficult it is to transform, I can understand why there's been great difficulty with that. As far as articulation goes, the head is on a ball joint, so Agent Knight can look left and right. His head can spin 360 degrees clockwise and counterclockwise. He can look up really far, or almost I want to say just above a 45-degree angle. He can't look down really much unless you force it, where you try to transform the neck joint. But on my copy, it's so tight it just springs back into place, as you can see, like that. So not really much movement looking up and down. If you were to get the door or wings out of the way, the arms have the potential to spin 360 degrees clockwise and counterclockwise. Swivel joint in the bicep, swivel joints in the wrist as well. But if you have the laser guns in the hands, they can get in the way of the wrist articulation, so just take note of that. And the hands can go inward and outward at the wrist like this. I don't know if that was done originally as a part of the transformation, which was then abandoned, because you don't really have to rotate the arms inward at the wrists to successfully transform this vehicle from robot mode back into alt mode. For the lower half of Agent Knight, his torso does spin around at the waist 360 degrees clockwise and counterclockwise, and that is a result of the transformation. The pelvis, the front of it is a separate piece. So just take note that could snap off if you're not too careful. Legs can go out this far, so if you can get the arms out of the way, KITT can do a full split. Legs can go forward that far. They can go backward that far if you can get it around the windshield. Swivel joints in the thighs, hinge knees, and then the feet, because of how they transform, you can break the foot and have it going this far down, and then the toes can go up and down if you desire. There aren't any heel spurs due to that hinge joint at the very back of the foot, but the figure still stands fairly well. depending on how you have the legs positioned on a solid surface. I apologize for not bringing out any Transformers action figures to do a size comparison of with Agent Knight. I deeply apologize for that, but just take note that he is I want to say he's almost 10 inches tall off head to feet, depending on how you have his legs positioned. And because of how he transforms, if you wanted to, you could clamp his legs and feet back together if you like, and there he is. And this is what I like to personally call the Generation 1 robot mode, where the legs are fused together at the bottom half, which was typical with quite a few original Transformers Generation 1 action figures back in the 1980s. So yeah, overall a pretty decent sized Transformers action figure. Because he's since he's officially being sold at leader class price point, officially Agent Knight is a small leader class sized Transformers action figure. But if you can find him on clearance for less than retail price, then he can be a fairly fun Voyager class sized action figure. And like I said earlier in the review, he's right in between the size of being a large Voyager class figure and being a small leader class sized Transformers action figure. So for the final proverbial question of the review, do I recommend getting the Transformers collaborative crossover KITT/Agent Knight action figure and adding it to your collection? Absolutely I do. You will not go wrong getting Agent Knight and adding him to your collection. And like I said at the start of the review, if you're strictly a Knight Rider fan and you've always wondered what it would be like if KITT were to become human, or even the next best thing, if KITT were to be able to become a robot, then this action figure gives Agent Knight fans the chance to visualize that in person. And if you're strictly a Transformers fan and like me, you've never watched Agent Knight as a standalone Transformers action figure, I cannot stress enough how much of a must-have action figure Agent Knight is. He transforms into a cool-looking black sports car. He has a nice sculpted robot mode head. He is an Autobot, and he is going by the bio and the tech specs on the back of his box, which I miss seeing those on mass retail released Transformers action figures, side note there. But yeah, just as a Transformers action figure, even if you aren't really a fan of Agent Knight, the transformation is fairly simple, minus the difficulty getting the windshield past the doors. Whereas the vehicle mode rolls fairly well, and of course it's got electronic lights and sounds. So yeah, you cannot go wrong having Agent Knight if you're strictly a Transformers fan and you collect Transformers action figures. I can't really speak for fans of Knight Rider how well you'll enjoy this action figure if you aren't into Transformers action figures, but just take note, if you've ever wanted to see KITT actually not just drive Michael onto the scene of a crime and stop some human crooks, now KITT has the ability of actually taking the fight himself. I mean, imagine a robot mode imagine a robot the size of a sports car are all of a sudden appearing and trying to stop you from committing whatever crimes you're committing. If I was an enemy of Agent Knight, I would not want to even be an enemy. I would want to be a friend with him instead. So, thank you so much for watching. This has been the TFN. This has been my review of the Transformers collaborative crossover Knight Rider KITT Agent Knight action figure. I highly recommend getting this action figure, even if you're strictly a Knight Riders fan, and even if you're strictly a Transformers fan. It is a must-have action figure in your collection. So thank you once again to my good friend UltraMegatronus for the new t-shirt. And thank you again, and to all my subscribers for your continued support and for bearing with me the last 2.5 weeks since I did my last video. Thank you guys all so much, and until next time, you guys, please remember to stay safe, stay healthy. Oh, and one last announcement. Tonight, speaking of UltraMegatronus, I will be over on his channel, and I'll be doing a special live stream video, so please stop by, take a look. Look, if you haven't subscribed to UltraMegatronus' channel yet, he is one of the channels I have listed in the video description on channels that I recommend you subscribe to. Thank you guys all so much, and until next time, you guys, stay safe, stay healthy, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.